Cars, bikes, drivers and riders. Hear them all here. This is Motorsport Radio.
Hello and good evening. You're listening to Motorsport Radio, where we have a special preview of the World RX of Great Britain, round 4 of the 2018 FIA World Rallycross Championship. Regular viewers will know myself. I'm normally here either talking about TCR and touring cars, or on occasion talking about FIA World Rallycross or FIA European Rallycross. And this evening, I'm very lucky to be joined by the UK's regular entry, I think is best to put it, this year. I'm speaking to Oliver Bennett, who is the Excite Racing Mini Cooper driver who's taking part in several in a programme of events, I think is the best way to say. Ollie, good evening. It's lovely to speak to you.
Good evening, Phil. Nice to talk to you too.
Lovely. So, as I was saying, we're talking obviously about the event taking place this weekend at Silverstone, where you're I think it's your third round of the year that you're competing in your current programme, isn't it?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, this is my third round.
Lovely. Basically, for those that aren't regular viewers of World Rallycross, Ollie has taken part in 2 of the 3 rounds that have taken place so far. The first round of the year took place at the Barcelona Grand Prix circuit in Spain, and the second round of the year took place at the Montalegre Rallycross circuit in Portugal. I think it's fair to say, Ollie, to begin with, you've had a sort of interesting start to the season.
Yeah, very interesting. I mean, it was crazy to even get to Barcelona, if I'm honest. When we started the car early December, we built this car in 3 months to a level that, we were amazed with, really, in what we got done. So we tested 2 days before the Barcelona event, got the car there, nothing broken, it kept working. And, we were amazed. It wasn't my preferred conditions. I haven't got the most seat time, I guess, out of most drivers there. So the wet conditions was difficult, but the car ran great. We nearly made the semi-final. Just sitting in P13, so it was a great weekend for our first 18.
Good stuff. And how about Portugal? How do you feel Portugal went as your second round with the car?
Portugal was more difficult. That's when we had our first teething issue. We had a clutch failure on the way to practice. So I missed practice, which, of course, never being around the track into Q1 for me was really difficult. So I was trying to learn the track. I had a good start, actually, and it was sat behind Christopherson, which I thought would pull me round, and it did for about a lap and a half, and then I had a puncture. One of the big curbs there caught the tyre and gave me a puncture. So really, it was bad luck after bad luck. It just put me on the back foot all day then, really. Okay.
So, as I say, this is actually your second year of Rallycross competition. Last year, you made your debut in Rallycross, in the full-time debut, I should say, in the British Rallycross Championship. How would you summarise your season last year? How do you think that went, first of all?
Yeah, I had a really good season for me personally and for the team, I guess. We achieved everything we wanted to achieve. And I come away with, I think, probably a 50-point lead in the British Championship. Obviously, with drop scores and things, that put me, I think, back down to about 3rd position overall in the championship. But I had 7 out of 9 podiums, which, to be honest, day one, Croft on the line, I didn't know if I was going to get lapped. So to come away with that much medal was really good.
Brilliant. So obviously, like I say, you had your highs in the championship. Were there any low points? Any times you sort of had to take away a bit of a learning experience from your time during this series?
Yeah, I think we had some difficult battles. Obviously, in the British, it is fierce competition still. And there's obviously first corners matter a lot. Get some bad starts and things that can play on you psychology, I guess. A lot of it is on the start and how we try and build up to that. So we had a few teething troubles with that, I guess, trying to learn that part of the sport. But I can't say there was any major disappointments throughout the season last year.
Good stuff. So as we've already discussed at the beginning, so you've taken part in the first 2 rounds of the year in Spain and Portugal. It's your second year of Rallycross, and for those that were following British Rallycross last year, you were in the Ford Fiesta. This year, you're in a Mini Cooper, which is a brand new car. Do you want to explain a little bit of how the Mini came around, the idea of using the Mini, and also the work that's gone into getting the car built, getting it developed?
Yeah, of course. We could see an opportunity really with our performance in the first year that we wanted to perform on a new level. That's where we looked at the World Rallycross scene really for all its exposure and what it's growing as a sport. It seemed like a perfect fit. We had some difficulties with setup with the Fiesta. We tried numerous solutions to little things, and we decided in the end really what we needed was a car that was designed for us, for a private team, something we can maintain in an environment that we liked, and would also be as competitive as we think we needed to be. So, no stones were left unturned developing this car, really. And I think with a bit of seat time for me and some testing for the car, really to find the right setup for the car, I think, it's got every chance with that right recipe to be a world-winning car.
Brilliant. So, I must admit, I'll be honest, I've seen the car before its livery, when I saw it at the Autosport International show back in January. I thought it looked pretty good then, to be honest, with the sort of Excite camouflage livery, I think is the best way to explain how it looked at the time. And you had the competition earlier in the year to decide how it looks. Quite stunning, to be honest. I've got to say myself, it stands out from the rest of the field that's there, with the regular competitors. As we discussed, you've had a go at Spain, you've had a go at Portugal, your third rounds this weekend at Silverstone. How many rounds are you now at? How many rounds are you looking to try and complete during the rest of the year?
Yeah, so we're trying to complete. It's easier to tell you the ones we're not competing in.
Okay.
So the ones we're not looking to do is Canada, and obviously Belgium just gone. So the rest of the range there, we're hopefully looking to compete in, as long as the car's all well and good.
Okay, so that's quite a few then, in that case. And out of the 12 rounds, 10 isn't too bad. And obviously it gives you more, as you say, more seat time in the car. And obviously against the I think it's fair to say the high quality field of drivers that you're up against, the likes of Petter Solberg, Sebastian Loeb, Christopherson, the Hansons. There's a quite a large field. In regards to this weekend, you are part of a capacity grid. The entry list has got 25 cars on. So how do you feel going up against such a large field with the Mini as it is, on home turf? How are your thoughts on that? Yeah,
it's going to be great for the team. I think the only official British team running an event that calls themselves British, I guess. We've got a British car and a British driver, so it should be quite iconic. We've got the British flag on the roof. But no, I'm really looking forward to it. It's a circuit, actually, I've been around before with the Speed Machine press launch last year. So I've got a few familiarities, I guess, with the track, which will be useful. And then I think it's just to perform the best we can. I'd like to lead the British pack, I guess, if you can call it. There's a good few British entries in there that I'm used to racing with, so try and lead that little pack would probably be the goal.
Brilliant stuff. As you say, you're not the only British driver there this weekend. The entry list includes the likes of Mark Higgins, who's driving the Albotech Racing Peugeot. I understand Ollie O'Donovan is supposed to be there in his full Fiesta. There might be a bit of a question mark on that. Again, there's also a large mix of European Rallycross regulars, Tommy Rustad and Tom Markland. So I'm guessing a few guys you haven't raced before to sort of challenge how they're going to be on track and how much sort of, I suppose you want to say, trust and racing room they're going to give us if you're on track during qualifying?
Yeah, I think with 25 cars, it's definitely going to get a lot more hectic because everyone's fighting really for the top 12, I guess, at the end of the day. That's what we're all looking for. And obviously the European and the British, I guess, comes with a bit less etiquette and how we get gaps and find corners, which is great fun. It's within the rules that we're allowed to do that, so we do. So yeah, whether we'll all, hopefully they'll all come to the World Rallycross rules, I guess, where, touching is limited, which will make for really good racing, I think, at Silverstone. But it's a slippy track, and it's going to be dry and dusty. I drove there in the dry last year, and it was really easy to run wide and overshoot corners. So I think there'll be plenty of overtaking, and it'll be quite good fun. Good
stuff. There's, like I say, you've done 2 rounds out of the 10 you're planning to do so far, and obviously, like I say, Silverstone is the home circuit, so there's a lot of I think you could say expectation. As you say, you want to be the best British driver out of the British drivers there. The remaining rounds that are left out of your program, are there any in particular you're looking forward to having a go at? Are there any you're concerned about having a go at? What are your sort of highlights and lowlights you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I guess obviously the sort of Norwegian rounds, they've got quite iconic in Rallycross, so Hal and Holliers I'm really looking forward to. Obviously done plenty of laps on those on the PlayStation, so
absolutely
I'd say I know my way around. But yeah, those tracks are really quite iconic, and we've done the ice race in Holliers in the winter season with the ice cars. So no, they're the events I guess I'm looking forward to. Obviously America would be a great buzz. just to be in the States. I've always wanted to go, so that's a good excuse. So yeah, in terms of, I couldn't say I'm particularly worried about any events. Probably nerves is one thing I seem to fail at getting, so it's probably helped me so far.
That's a good thing. You get to the circuit, get ready to have a go and learn as quick as you can, and get settled in with the car as well. Going back to the Mini itself, so this, as we sort of spoke about earlier in the year, there's been some development from LD Motorsport from Liam Duran's team, and we also spoke about, I think it's Simpson Motorsport that were involved in that side of things. How has that involvement carried on from both teams if you're going into the championship and obviously competing in the first 2 rounds? How's that been helping with developing the car as well?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, the relationship with those guys is still running really well. Obviously, Simpsons was fundamental in the building, the design of the car, I guess. LD Motorsport, and Liam in particular was a great hand with all his knowledge on, how the car dynamics work, chassis setup, and the ergonomics of the car, I guess. So both together, they've been really invaluable in building a car from a very expertise circuit background to a very expertise rallycross background. Merging the two seems to work quite well. I know Liam's dying to get his hands on the car and go in it, so no, I think it's worked out well.
I was going to say, from the sounds of that, is it possible we could see Liam have a go, even a bit of demonstration, possibly a demo at a circuit one time?
I mean, yeah, you can never say never. He's always asking, so I'm sure one day a penny will drop.
Oh yes, definitely. Before you came to Rallycross to help, people that aren't normal Rallycross viewers, to get a bit of an idea of the background. What were you doing before you decided to make the move into Rallycross last year?
Yeah, so I competed previously in 10 years of motocross, so two-wheel off-road racing, which I really enjoyed and got to a very high British level at that. Then obviously I finished my career in that at what you probably call a Pro-Am level, before then moving to university, which put an end to the motorsport career, I guess, which I thought would last a lifetime, but it does end. And then post-university, then I was looking for something really to get back, to get that adrenaline in what I loved doing, which was racing. And I tried bikes again, and it was very difficult, and it hurt a lot. So I was looking for something that was, had the same format of racing. So I looked at circuit racing. I did try rallying as well. But they're very different disciplines to what I was used to, which was short circuit racing. So really I had to find my home in that on 4 wheels, and Rallycross was the perfect solution. Brilliant.
One sort of final question to gauge, how this weekend is going to go. So obviously you're taking part in the FIA World Rallycross Championship. There's 2 other championships taking part for those that are looking to catch up on the weekend's activity. We've got the RX2 International Series, which Nathan Heathcote, last year's British champion's taking part in. And we've also got the new America's Rallycross Championship that's starting for its first round in Silverstone. I know that's sort of been seen, I think, a bit controversial, and the rest of the rounds taking place over in America and Canada. We've had the entry lists out for all 3 series to gauge who's there, who's taking part. What are your thoughts on the whole of everyone that's there? Because there are, I think it's safe to say, quite a star-studded lineup of Rallycross drivers taking part this weekend.
Yeah, I think really if you're into Rallycross, or if you're not into Rallycross, this would be definitely a weekend to set your eyes on and come down and have a look. Got some of the best names in the sport, past and present. So there's got a lot of talent on the field. It's going to be interesting. I couldn't put my money on it yet, who's going to win either of the situations, WX or ARX. But no, I think there's going to be a great battle. It's going to be a great weekend.
Brilliant. So just to give everyone a bit of background, so this is the much talked about Speed Machine Festival that the World RX of Great Britain is part of this weekend at Silverstone. It's a new idea that IMG, the promoters of the World Rallycross Championship, have come up with, to not only have the motor racing taking part, but also part of that is a festival having music taking place, having good food, having esports championships happening as well. And yeah, it's generally to give an idea that it's not just the sport you can go and visit. There are other things you can go and do as well whilst you're there. Ollie's going to be taking part in the Mini, which, as you've been seeing during the interview, is quite striking, especially seeing him doing some of the onboards in Spain. That's been interesting to watch as well. First, just to sort of say, Ollie, from myself, I'm going to wish you good luck, and the team as well. Myself, I'm going to be there for the checkered flag, covering things on Sunday. So see how the first couple of qualifying sessions have gone on Saturday, and then on Sunday catch up with the rest of the action. And if you get the chance to be there, if you're able to go down, pop Ollie a visit, go and see the team, have a look at the car. It is very spectacular. I can say that from personal experience. And I'm looking forward to see Ollie at least being the top of the British drivers. Maybe, fingers crossed for a semi-final appearance. Do you reckon, Ollie?
We'll try our best, I think, Phil. I mean, I know the track, so we're in higher good stead than the other tracks I've been at. So never say never.
Good stuff. That's brilliant. Well, I've been talking to Oliver Bennett this evening, who's the Excite Racing driver taking part in 10 rounds of the FIA World Rallycross Championship this year. Myself, I've been Phil Kinch. Thank you for listening to me and trying to take in all the information I've been trying to pass on. If you're looking forward to the event this weekend, you can find it as normal on all the social media channels, as well as Facebook, and also on Free Sports on Sunday when the semi-finals and finals and RX2, I believe, should also be shown. Once again, this has been a preview of the World RX of Great Britain. Myself speaking to Ollie Bennett, Excite Racing driver this year, taking part, and it's been lovely speaking to you. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you, Phil.
Cars, bikes, drivers and riders. Hear them all here. This is Motorsport Radio.